Hey everyone, this is Jack. Today we're going to learn about Shogi, otherwise known as Japanese chess. The object of the game is to capture your opponent's king. Here's the board shown behind me. It is a 9x9, 81 squares board, and pieces go in the squares. Each player set out their pieces so that the pointed end faces towards the opponent. All pieces start with the black side up and are arranged in the following order. Pawns are placed across the third row, as shown here. On the second row, place the bishop on the second space. In from the left is this, called the kaku, and the rook on the second place in from the right. This is called the hisha. On the bottom row, going from left to right, the order is lance, knight, silver general, gold general, king, gold general, silver general, horse, and lance. The opposing king will have no dot, while yours will have a dot, and the one with the dot will go first. Pick player to go first, and then turns alternate. On your turn, you must move one piece or drop one piece. I'll explain that later. The king can move one space in any direction, so forwards, backwards, left, right, diagonally forwards, diagonally backwards. The gold general can move one space in any direction except diagonally backwards. So I'll show you on the board here. If I go here, let's say here, let me just move out. And this is a good way to demonstrate the pawns only move forward one space. Here we have a gold general, and as you can see from the dots on the online board, it goes left, right, up, down, and here, diagonally. It cannot go back diagonally. And now the silver general can move one space diagonally in any direction or one space forward. The knight can jump one space forward, then one space diagonally forward. And it's the only piece that can jump over other pieces. And contrary to other games with horse that move in an L shape, the horse in here, Shogi, can only move forward. It cannot move to the side. So let's see. Let me show you. You can see that it only moves forward. Normally, you can move it here, such as in chess, but not in this game. The lance on the end of the board can move any number of free spaces forward, but it cannot move back, and it cannot move horizontally. The bishop can move any number of free spaces in any diagonal direction. The rook can move any number of free spaces forward, back, left, or right. And a pawn can move only one space forward, as I've demonstrated. Each player has a promotion zone on the farthest third of the board, so where the opposing pawns are now from this side of the board. The three rows that their opponent's pieces started on. If a piece moves into, out of, or within the promotion zone, the player may choose to promote the piece at the end of the turn. Promotion is indicated by turning the piece over a move and showing its promoted value, typically the red side. So I'll show you right here. Boom. Now you can see that I can choose to either stay as a pawn or promote. Now, the promoted silver general, promoted knight, promoted lance, and the promoted pawn move as a gold general, one space in any direction except diagonally backwards. The promoted bishop can move any number of free spaces in any diagonal direction or one space forwards, backwards, left, or right. The promoted rook can move any number of free spaces forward, back, left, or right, or one space in any diagonal direction. If a piece reaches the far side of the board so that it would no longer have a legal move on future turns, it must be promoted. Pieces remain promoted until they are captured. Your pieces may not share space with another piece, but instead capture the first opponent's piece they move into. Captured pieces are removed from the board and placed on the captured side of the table in plain view of both players. In this online version, you can see that since I have taken a pawn, it is shown on my side here with a mark of 1. And now this is called, captured pieces are removed, and on your turn, instead of moving piece, you may choose to add one of the pieces you have captured onto any vacant space on the board. This is called dropping a piece, as I've said earlier. The piece is always dropped with its unpromoted value face up. You may not drop a pawn onto a column which already contains one pawn, one of your unpromoted pawns, but you are allowed to if that pawn was promoted. A pawn may not be dropped to give immediate checkmate, however, other pieces may be dropped into give immediate checkmate. No piece may be dropped onto a space from which it will have no possible future moves. If you drop a piece on the promotion zone, your piece does not get promoted until it moves on a future turn. So for example, if I choose to drop my pawn on this rank, ooh, that's a bad demonstration, but and when your king is able to be captured during opponent's next turn, it is called being in check. And when your king's in check, you must protect it and get it out of check. If it's impossible to save the king, then it's called checkmate. The first player to checkmate their opponent's king wins. And contrary to chess, there is no stalemate. If the king cannot move on a turn, it is considered checkmate.